I was at lunch and I think I lost 120k.
I just hodl.
October is such a strong month. Start of bear market.
Are we going to have an altcoin season? What do you think?
Maybe in the next few years. The market is now bigger.
The next Bitcoin.
I see a strong uptrend.
Before we move forward with our main guest and the episode, I would like to take a moment and announce the winner of our last giveaway. For those who missed it, we were giving out 100 USDT to the person who names the best crypto project in comments to the last video. So the winner of our last giveaway is Griffin, aka RetroPin Club 7793. He says that his favorite project is Ethereum because most developers build really cool applications there. So big shout out to you, congratulations, and our team will get in touch with you regarding the next steps and how you can get the prize. For those of you who missed the giveaway, please follow us, stay tuned, be active in comments. We will have more interesting things to come. Thank you. Hello everyone and happy October. This is HodlFM Podcast with you. I'm Tanya, your host. And today our guest is Daniel Schollerer. He is the person behind the Uptrend Crypto channel. And thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about lots of interesting stuff about crypto price, about trends. Thank you for joining, Daniel. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do.
Yeah. Thank you for the invitation at first. Yeah, it changed 3 weeks ago, to be honest. So it's not now Uptrend. It's my personal brand. I changed it to Daniel Schollerer, also to my YouTube channel, because I think it's more personal. And yeah, for me, it's a crypto travel journey I have with my YouTube channel. I started with the channel by middle of January 2022, so start of the last bear market. It was a little bit strange because start of bear market, and I talked about new pre-sales and opportunities, and to this time was a lot of. Yeah, I think Metaverse was to this time really huge. And I was a small hodler, I think so. I only invested in some pre-sales. It was fine. Also in some bigger or smaller tokens or coins, but not in terms of trading, only hodling, waiting, and sawing these prices and also this back. Yeah, and learned a lot. And now I'm more into trading. It's a big story for me also, and a big journey, because I think this market changed a lot in the last few 2 or 3 years. If we see, we have a lot of institutional investors now in the market. Bitcoin, hey, all-time high at the weekend, and no retailers in the market. What happened? It's totally crazy. But I think this story starts now. And I think there are still a lot of opportunities, because a lot of people say, I'm too late, I'm too late. No, I don't think you're too late.
I do absolutely agree with you, because I think we have still a huge journey for crypto. And you told that you joined basically right after the first bull run. Last bull run. So what were your main key takeaways from your past experience, and now what are the main mistakes you did last time you're not going to do during this bull run?
Emotions. Fear and greed. I think this is the struggle which has all this investors, cause the problem is I hear a lot of people, first bull run, I will never do this. I will sell. I will sell. For sure I will sell, yeah. But at the end, you see this price increase, and then you say, okay, it goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and then there comes the correction and the dip. I have one story for you, and this is true. I was at lunch. It was during the last altcoin season, and I was invested in a DEX project on the Tron blockchain. To this time, everyone said Tron is the next big thing and the Ethereum killer, and no one knows what will happen, but okay. And I had a lot of tokens. I think around in dollar, it was around 200K or something like that. And I hodled and hodled and hodled. And the whole weeks, I think 3 weeks, it went only up and up and up and up. And I waited. And then to this time, I was at lunch. And I think I lost 120K. Yeah.
That really hurts.
This was expensive. And this was my biggest learning. And also, I think, and this is really good for trading, by the way, I make it in the same way. Currently, I look, okay, I have my profits and I take profits. And then I look for a new position opening. For example, currently, I don't do short trades. A lot of people say, yeah, you can do it. But I say it's an uptrend overall currently. And so only long trades. But I take my profits, then new position, and then it goes up. This was my biggest learning, and yeah, it was expensive.
Learning when you deal with money, generally not just crypto, but anything related to money, any kind of learning, any kind of experience is very, very expensive. But right now we had ATH. Yesterday, basically, Bitcoin smashed 125K. What do you think about where we are at now? Is it the top, or are we going to go higher this time?
I think we will go higher. In my opinion, it's important that the price will increase in the next few days over this all-time high. So we see another all-time high and we see, okay, there is a strong mark. But in my opinion, if we see, for example, the P-cycle top indicator in the last few seasons, it worked really good. And currently, the top of the P-cycle top indicator is around 190K, near 200K. This would be crazy. And it's only an indicator, by the way. This is not a guarantee, okay, it will happen. But when it will happen, personally, I think around 160, 170K is possible. We will see what happens. We have Trump and we have shutdowns and some other funny stuff around there. So there can happen a lot. But also in historic moments, we see October is such a strong month. We started in the October and up. So we will see. Maybe we have an October and also the price increases. Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Actually, me too. I'm also expecting like 150 at least, and then higher and higher. But you said that you trade. I personally have no experience with trading. I just hodl. I was always interested. Which factors do you rely on when you're opening your positions? So, is it the trend? Is it something else? Is it the news? How do you make some assumptions based on like everything you hear about crypto?
I think at the end it's a mixture of different indicators. For example, EMAs or vector candles. A vector candle is a candle with a huge volume in both sides. So and you see normally you have a vector candle and a part of it, or sometimes also in total, there is a retest. So if you see a strong vector candle, and you can see it in TradingView and so on, there are different indicators. We have our own indicator, for example, also free for our community. And there is the option to see, okay, there is a vector candle. Then you see, for example, a huge pump. A lot of people will jump in and say, oh, I can lose. And no, it can only go up. And then there comes the big correction. And these are also this emotional thing. If I see a strong uptrend, I wait. And I don't say, okay, I jump now into the market. Makes no sense. But at the end, news is also really important. If we see speeches of Paul, for example, and some things like that, what happens in the US market and also the shutdown. There are also a lot of indicators, but to be honest, news trading is really, really, really hard because we don't know what will happen. And in this second, oftentimes it's only like, oh, we expect this, but this happens. and then we have a huge pump or dump. And so news is tricky. I don't have insider infos, but yeah, this is the big problem. If we see Trump announces a executive order, for example, for Bitcoin reserves, it's nice. But we need this information some minutes before, then it is funny. But yeah, also with the indicators, resistance zones or support zones is also really important. You can see it in the chart, and also a lot of traders work with it, so it works. And yeah, this is a big thing. And don't use too much leverage. This is also really important.
And what about altcoins? Because previous seasons were much more focused on the altcoins, and we had this Bitcoin going up and altcoins following. Right now, the situation is different. Are we going to have an altcoin season? What do you think?
I don't think it will be an altcoin season. I think it's more like an altcoin run. I think the market changed. Currently, in the last 2-3 days, we see, okay, there is more focus on Bitcoin. Okay, yeah, new all-time high, and this small group of retailers which look currently like, okay, Bitcoin. But I think the market changed in this way. If we see in 2021-22, we had around 10,000 tokens. And maybe you think this is a huge number. We have now around 100 million. And I think this is the big problem. If you see the market cap for excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, only the altcoins, we have a really high volume currently in the market. But I personally think we have too much tokens, and then the spread is too big. And this is the problem we see. For example, Ulster or something like this new tokens, we see around 20-30% plus. Okay, it's nice. But like you said, altcoin season is 5x, 10x. This is altcoin season. And so I personally think maybe we see a run for AI tokens, or for meme coins, or for real world asset tokens, but only in this way, and not this overall thing like, hey, I throw some money in the market and everything will pump. This is not possible, in my opinion.
But before that, there used to be these seasons. Unfortunately, now it has changed a lot. I think it's mostly because of institutions entering, and they're more old school, and still crypto is a very disruptive thing for them, even right now. Right now, we see that there's lots of institutional interest on the side of the US. A lot of funds are investing in Bitcoin. Generally, when Trump came to power, institutions got crazy about crypto. How is it in Germany? Germany is one of the biggest economies in the EU, and it's very important that they follow the crypto trend. What do you see about institutional involvement in Germany?
I think there is a lot of potential, to be honest. If I see in September, I was at conference in Dortmund. It's a huge crypto conference in the Westfalenstadion. But I think this is the only big conference, for example. And so you see, okay, I think this is more the Asian part. In Asia, it's crazy huge, everything with crypto and so on. But this mass adoption in the German market, I'm working on it with my channel, but there is still a lot of potential. And also, if you see also currently the Google Trends, for example, Bitcoin worldwide, hey, it's down. It's really down. And then the retailers say, okay, I'm too late. No, you're not too late. There is a lot of potential, still a lot of potential in the crypto market. And I personally think, and at the end, maybe it's not Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is this money saver. It's fine. But I think tokens with a real use case for the future, for example, AI, Bittensor, maybe. It's a big blockchain for AI. In my opinion, this can also make a huge pump in the future. It's possible. We don't know what will happen, but the people have to come in this market and to feel it. There is so much potential, still potential, but to be honest, the German market is currently small. I think in Switzerland and Austria, it's much better, especially Crypto Valley in Switzerland. I think there is a bigger market, more industry for it. In Germany, also in terms of government, I think there should also change a lot in this terms, digitalization. Yeah, maybe in the next few years.
And how do you feel about MiCA? Is it good for crypto, or is it not really helping the crypto adoption within Europe?
This is a good question. I made a lot of videos about it. I think this regulation part is so complicated in the structure that a lot of companies and also founders say, no, I don't use Germany for my company, for example. And I think this is the wrong direction. They should do a lot more to win crypto companies in the EU or in Germany, for example, like Trump did it. Trump said, okay, here, US and made in US, and we have in CoinMarketCap a separate chapter. This is crazy, and this is also a lot of growing in the market. But I think personally, MiCA is a good idea to save the investors' money. This is true. It's a good way to solve for scams and something like that. This is nice. But I think someone wrote this paper and someone has to do it then in the in practice and use it. And then if I see some parts of it and say, oh my God, how should it work? It's not possible to make this in the real world.
What about your audience? You have mostly audience coming from Germany or from DACH region. This is a big part of Europe. What are they mostly interested in? Which topics are most popular among Germans?
I think to earn a lot of money in a short time. But this won't work. This is not the game. But to be honest, for example, I think in also in the German market, we have a lot of YouTube channels with different topics. Some of them talk only about news, some of them more about trading, some of them more about altcoins, meme coins, and so on. For example, my audience, I talk daily about the biggest daily news in combination of trading signals. So on my channel, the people are more interested to come into trading. For example, I also make YouTube lives daily with live trading, but I think overall everyone is in crypto to earn money. And so also with the altcoins, I made also in Dortmund an interview with a friend, and he said also altcoins is for earning money. And at the end also Bitcoin, to be honest, yeah, it's a saver and it's decentralized and blah, blah, blah. But at the end, the main use case of Bitcoin is currently to earn money. So I think this is the most interest. I see it also in my thumbnails. Sometimes it's a little bit clickbait in it, but I try to make it serious. I think this is the main part, or should be the main part for all these influencers out there. Not to produce hype or FOMO or FUD. More to go in the market, say, okay, this is a realistic way. This can happen also in terms of trading, also with altcoins. But I think a lot of new people only jump into crypto like, okay, there is a 100x. No, it's also okay if you do a 2x or a 3x. It's also nice. But this is, it's boring. This is traditional market. No, it isn't. It's totally okay. And it's totally fine also in maybe this altcoin season we will see, or altcoin run or whatever. If we do a 2x or 5x or 3x, hey, totally fine for me. But the people has to learn. The market is now bigger. It changed a little bit.
It changed a lot, and everyone is still looking for the next Bitcoin. I think that's why everyone is waiting so much for the altcoins to follow it. What about your trends, and what about your predictions about altcoins? What are your top picks? Which coins you personally follow?
I'm a big fan of AI tokens. I separated a lot because I say, okay, this large caps. For example, I invested in Solana. Oh, this is one of my best trades. Last time I bought Solana for Hodl portfolio at a price of $30. It was good, and I'm still hodling. This is my position. I will hodl. Maybe we will see a price of 1K or something like that. Solana makes currently a good performance also for day trading. Really nice. On the other side, I'm also invested in Cardano, for example. Works also really good. I invested in at a price of 35 cents, something like that. It's also nice, and I still hodl. And then I have a lot of small caps, also AI tokens. For example, Bittensor, for example, I'm also invested. This is not a small cap, in my opinion. This is a bigger one. But for example, small caps like Tars AI, for example, I made also some marketing for them, and I'm also invested. I think this is a good idea. I talked 1 or 2 days before our interview now about Inspect. Inspect is also really interesting because it's a layer 2 of Bittensor. This is sometimes really clever to look, okay, is there an option, a layer 2 blockchain, for example, of a big blockchain in a narrative or also at Ethereum, for example? But this is also really clever, or decentralized exchanges. For example, exchange tokens like Uniswap. I'm not invested, but if you see, okay, Ethereum rises, then normally Uniswap is also needed, and so it goes also up. So there are a lot of possibilities, but to be honest, to this time I'm more into trading and not so big in my altcoin. So my hodl portfolio is like, I'm waiting currently.
And for those traders just entering the crypto trading, what would be the main advice on your hand?
To take profits, to make a good risk management. I think this is the main factor. Before you open a trade, check the chart and look, okay, where is a support zone or a resistance zone? I personally think if you do day trading, scalping, or not swing trading is okay without stop loss, but otherwise, in my opinion, everyone should use a stop loss, maybe 1% in minus. So if the trade doesn't work, okay, you are stopped in minus, but your portfolio isn't crashed. And this is really important. And then to look, okay, what is the potential up and down? And then to open a trade. And not this thing like, oh, everything is going up and I'm in the market. And also with the leverage. For example, I trade Bitcoin currently with a 10x maximum. Altcoins around 5 or 6x maximum. But I know a lot of people like, 25x, okay, I'm in. Yeah, but then there is a small liquidation zone. And I think this is the main factor to check the charts, to learn a lot before opening a trade. Okay, I also lost trades. This is normal. But check the charts, make risk management, and then start. And sometimes you say, okay, I should do this and open the trade, and it goes up now. Yeah, okay, then next situation, and the chart will go down again. It's today it was the same. And I made also already 3 or 4 trades today, and it works.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. That was it. It was Daniel Schollerer with us. Thank you for joining our session, and follow us, like this video, follow Daniel's channel too, and see you during next episodes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.